Welcome to one of the Rockstars live hangouts. I'm super pumped. We've got Mr. Michael. Which way is it? This way? Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Mr. Michael Cole on board.
I am not Michael Cole.
No, this way.
This.
This is my lovely wife. Oh, this is your first time.
Yeah.
This is the one that runs everything. When our little boss is sleeping, this is the one that's the boss. Yeah. This is my wife, Trista. Most of you guys in the Facebook world know her or of her. So in YouTube land, now you know her as well.
Yeah.
I see we got JC just popped on. Quick shout out to JC, who has dropped how much weight, man?
62 pounds.
62 pounds. I see you working, man. Keep it up.
It's insane.
It's awesome.
That's crazy.
So we just passed 18,000 members in the FBA Rockstars group. Holy crap.
It's just crazy. Like,
18,000.
I can't even, I think that's almost, we live in a small town, but that's like almost the population of our town.
We have 30,000 in our town, so it's like our entire town in one Facebook page.
I know.
Super weird.
Crazy.
So with that, if you're new, welcome. My name is Charles Leslie, or Coach Chaz, you'll hear me called. I'm the one that created the Rockstars, along with the whole YouTube series that most people know us by. And we created this group to be a community where people can come for help. There's a lot of communities out there that you might get bashed as a newbie if you post a stupid question. I got kicked out of another group, which is why I created my own. I was challenged, if you want to be motivational and inspirational and that crap, as it was called, go do that in a different group. So I said, okay, I'll start my own group and see where it goes. I think we're doing okay. If you are new, be sure to check out the group pinned post, which is at the top. If you're on your phone, you have to click on the little ... more info area, and you'll see the group files as well. And I highly recommend you start there. We have a ton of content in there to help you guys out as newbies. Again, as of right now, at the recording of this video, you cannot ship in your first, if you have a new FBA account, you cannot ship in your first FBA shipment until December 19th. It sucks, I know, but it's part of business. You take the punches and you roll with them. So December 19th, just be ready to grind. And you can still get out there and source now and learn how rankings work, learn the system, learn all that stuff, right? Use this time to research. You can still merchant fill if you want to go down that road. People make tons of money doing merchant filling. It's a little bit extra work because you directly ship stuff to the customers, take care of customer service if needed, but you can't FBA at the moment if you're new, so that's just part of the grind that you have to get used to. So aside from that, I'm going to shut up because everyone always hears me talk.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we asked Michael to kind of come on and share his wisdom with eBay, because we know that there's a lot of people who, for whatever reason, have a little bit of inventory, and it's still Q4. People still buying. Maybe you can't sell on the Amazon platform right now, but there's still other platforms, and so a lot of people are kind of afraid of eBay. They're like, oh, I don't even know. Like, all I want to do is Amazon, and that's just, for some people, that's not a reality right now. So, yeah, Michael,
I'm afraid of Amazon. I mean, so it's just the reverse. I mean, I'm afraid to step over that platform. I watched you guys' video. That's how I found out about y'all. Chaz's video on doing the labeling for the different products, and I just never made the switch because I'm very comfortable with eBay, and that's the platform I know. I've been on that platform since probably around 2010 is when I started with the large internet company. And then after we kind of got out of that one, I took a little break from it and got a job. But then I went back to it and started selling little things. And I mean, it's amazing the feeling you get. I mean, the very first thing I've ever sold on eBay, my own, I had a collection of foreign currency and a few silver coins that I actually put on eBay. And I'll tell you guys out there, the most fear I've ever had was not putting my item on eBay. It was like, oh God, what happens when this sells? What do I do? I have this stuff sold. How do I get it to the customer? Make sure everything is okay. And is he going to bash me? Am I doing something wrong? So that was definitely a fear. It's excitement, but it's fear at the same time. So there's a lot more stipulations with Amazon. And if I felt that way towards eBay, I could only imagine what I'd have felt if I'd have went to FBA. So that's what kind of shot me in the foot on that one. But it was kind of a blessing in disguise because eBay, I feel, is going to come back a little bit stronger now that Amazon is starting to crack down on some of the newer sellers. Does that mean they can't make money? Of course not. In fact, now that a lot of people are being driven back to the eBay platform, I feel that prices are gonna increase. Prices are gonna increase. Traffic's gonna increase. Like I was telling Chaz before the show, the majority of the buyers on eBay are also sellers. So as you get more sellers to that platform, you get more buyers. Where do you feel comfortable? I mean, I buy everything that I have. I've not touched Amazon. I buy everything that I have from eBay because I'm very familiar with that platform. Just like I'm sure a lot of you guys dealing with Amazon purchase a lot of your items from Amazon if you need anything. The VCR, well, bad example. The DVD player broke. Oh no, let's go to Amazon and get another one. Yeah, VCR. I'm telling how old I am now, but
we're discontinued now.
Yeah, right.
Cut. We gotta edit that one.
Yeah,
but,
edit that part out. Well, it makes sense though. Like I was thinking when you told me that before the show, I started thinking like we actually never bought anything off of eBay until we became sellers.
Actually, now I buy on eBay a lot, and after I figured out from a seller standpoint how simple it really can be, then from a buyer standpoint, I was like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I love it, and you're already tied in with your PayPal account and everything. So, I mean, I've been using PayPal forever. I actually have a business account with them from when I had my promotional company to accept payments from people that I was selling promotional items to. So, I just kind of rolled that over into my eBay and tied it in and used that same account. Even though that business is no longer LLC'd or anything, which I'm working on that. I mean, these are things that's going to, right now, basically, I'm just trying. You guys out there know I lost my home and everything in it to a flood. I'm just basically trying to get my sourcing back because my whole area took, flood. So trying to get my sourcing back, find my new little maze or my little track that I can go and get my items and then stack up my items and get back to listing and start making money again. After that, then I'll worry about drop shipping and, PL and all other things. Right now, my main concern and my main focus is just to get my business. Right now, I feel I'm at about 80%, but things are coming back. They are coming back. So That's a good thing.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I love the fact that you got knocked on your butt. In most people, the average, I preach about this a lot and people probably get tired of it, but like you can't come into a business world with an average mindset. Because the second something like, especially on that level, that's a pretty big knockdown in life. Most people would quit. They would come up with all the excuses in the world to just keep doing whatever, right? They would not come back with the fire that you are. So I love that part of your stories. In fact, you got knocked down hard, right? Like, we're not talking like you just had a little something happen. Like you literally lost tons of stuff.
My ceiling, my home is gutted. The ceiling's gutted all the way down to the floor.
Wow.
I made a video of it, and it was just total devastation. I mean, the things that I could get out of the home, I waded across. It was literally up to my high thigh. I waded across my yard to go get my swords and other things out of there that I could salvage, especially items that had already sold. Mm-hmm. I had auctions ended.
I'm not telling you sellers that I can't say.
Exactly. I had items that ended while the water was coming into my home. So,
oh my gosh.
Found in a hotel to stay in. I made my wife immediately bring me back so I could get the items that at least sold. And while I was there and already soaking wet from wading through water, I went ahead and grabbed other items that I could grab.
Right.
It was wild. Yeah. It was. I mean, I've had other businesses in the past. I actually did mechanic work on cars. I flipped cars with different partners. I tried it twice. Of course, partnership is something that it doesn't always work out. I mean, they held the key, which is the auction license. Without that, I've tried numerous businesses. Me and my wife had a successful body shop, but another life lesson was you never open a business ever if you don't know everything. You cannot work on a car. If you cannot paint a car, do body work on a car, do not open a body shop. You rely on your employees and they will not show up for work. They'll show up for work drunk, so things like that happen. So we learned the hard way. And my stepfather told me, just son, don't get into something You don't know. And I didn't listen. And it ended up biting me. And it was embarrassing, you know. But we kept on. I keep on hustling. I mean, I'm not going to be working for someone when it's my time to retire. I'm trying to set up something that can give me passive income, but at the same time, I can leave to my children if it's something that they wish to go into, you know, and trying to talk my children into doing it. But, you know, that's I'm not pushing the issue. If they want to do it, they can do it. If they don't, then it's up to them, you know.
So I had some questions about eBay. I know that I personally, because I'm so fearful of getting just way too rock bottom of a price when I auction things, I really only stick with the buy it now option. Is that something that you've found to be true, or do you kind of risk that auction hoping that your item will gain followers?
Okay, well, the thing with auctions, the first and foremost, if you're going to try an auction, my advice would be to set that auction to a price that you can live with. Okay, so if you only get one bid, it's at least a price that you can live with. I would only advise auctions if you have something that's very, very rare, or, you know, it's very in demand. Morgan silver dollars. Back in the day when I'd sell Morgan silver dollars, they're hot. You always going to get people bidding on Morgan silver dollars, always, and they're going to fight to the death for that Morgan silver dollar. And PlayStations too, as my wife said. I would start those off at 99 cents. I mean, I'd have a coin worth $150. I start off at 99 cents because I know that people are going to fight tooth and nail to get that coin. Now, on the flip side, if I would have listed it buy it now, let's say I listed it at $130. I could have possibly passed up some gross profit because people would have paid more if I'd have put it in an auction.
They like the experience of that auction. People
want to win.
Yeah,
people always want to win. Sometimes it's not about money. It's about that's my coin and you not getting that. Exactly.
Well, she kind of had that happen where what was the thing that you listed? It sold like that, and you're like, crap, I should have priced it for higher.
Oh, yeah. It was the, we came across at a thrift store of all places,
Mac, Windows XP Professional.
XP,
factory sealed, beautiful.
Never had been opened, and
for $10.
I don't know why, but I accidentally listed it for $55.
We're talking seconds.
And people were still trying to offer me less, like $40. And once I got that offer $40, I went back and looked at my listing. I was like, oh my gosh, I've only put this at 55, and I fixed my listing. But
yeah,
it could have been a
70,
problem.
Yeah, sold for 70 pretty quick. But so that's where the buy it now, you really have to watch your pricing on that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys were happy with 75, you know, you could have threw it out there for 75 as your starting bid, and then seen what happened, you know, because I've done that. I mean, on PlayStation 3s, they used to be my hottest sellers. I used to love picking up the fat versions, the slim, the super slims, and putting them on eBay. But the thing is now, it's a different market because PlayStation 4 is out and everything else. So right now, if I wanted to get, let's say, $80 for a PlayStation, I'd put it $80, but I'd put it for an auction because there are people out there that do still enjoy the PlayStation 3 for the simple fact that, you know, you get the free PlayStation network. So there is a demand for it, but it's just not as profitable as it used to be. So that would be something that would be another scenario for, you know, an auction.
So another question that I've heard quite a bit is how, you know, you can walk into Goodwill and just buy, you know, name brand clothes, or, you know, or you can find this gadget or whatever. How do you decide it's going to be worth your time and your investment? A lot of people want to know that they can, you know, double their money or triple their money or whatever. And how do you do your research?
I'm a research fanatic.
And do you just go through eBay, or how's your...
I go through, if, let's say, for instance, the item is on a shelf at Goodwill and it's brand new. It's in a brand new sealed box. I pull up my eBay app. I'll put the little bar scan tool on there. I'll scan the bar, and I'll look to see. My first thing I'm looking to see is how many are listed, how many of this item are listed. And you don't even have to scroll through it, you know. You do. You have to scroll through it, because not only do you want to see how many of that item is listed, you also want to see what the price ranges are. Because, for instance, if you see $50, $50, $50, $50, and you see somebody selling one for $18, then you go over to your sold listings and you don't see any sold. You're like, wow, that's a nice gap between 18 and 50, and it's still not selling. Okay, and these twerking bears are the same thing. I mean, I'm seeing people all the way down to $18 on those twerking bears, and then not selling. They haven't sold since September. So I'm going to have to play with my title a little bit to get maybe some new keywords, Christmas, in there somewhere, where people will search Christmas gifts, and that, my little bears will be in front of them. But that's definitely something I do. I'll scroll through, see how many are listed, see what the variance is in the price, and then I'll go to sold and see if any have sold for that lowest price, or if people might have sold them recently for maybe a higher price. Because like I said in my video, I don't go for the lowest price. I go for the last one that sold at the highest price. And I list it as that, and I've never had a problem. People buy my stuff. People may be on Facebook and see my ad, because eBay does put ads. I mean, I'm sure you guys, if y'all scroll through eBay looking for different items, you go over to Facebook and bam, there's your item on Facebook.
Yeah.
So people will see my item on Facebook. They won't even go and check pricing on eBay, because a lot of people don't know the platform. They'll click my item. They like the way I took my pictures. They like what my listing says. It's new, sealed. They'll buy it right then. They're not going through and checking. I mean, they could have had somebody that was selling theirs for $10 less than mine. That doesn't matter. So, I mean, I've never had a problem with that. And basically the way I do my listings, it has a proven track record that it will sell for that price and in that condition, because I did my research and I seen that the last one sold for this price in this condition, and I piggyback off his listing. So if he got a viewer to view his item and buy it at that price, why would I have any problems? It's a proven track record, the listing that I'm piggybacking off of.
Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. Real quick, if you guys are on the live call right now and you have any eBay related questions, drop those in the chat and we'll do a little Q&A session after all this too. I want to transition a little bit into, a lot of people just got into the FBA world, got into the community, watched the YouTube videos, but then they get hit with the, oh crap, I can't do anything FBA until December 19th. So for somebody that does not even have an account on eBay, they've never sold on eBay before, what are like the first 3 things you would tell that person to do?
Well, I mean, the first thing is make sure your account's set up. Make sure that everything's right. If you have any problems, contact eBay. They will walk you through the whole process of getting your account up. Make sure that you can accept payment, because there was a problem, a glitch just recently where eBay changed some settings in their website and actually knocked people off. And you guys need to check this. It actually knocked people off of the PayPal payment setting. Mm-hmm. So it turned it off. So if I would go to buy Chaz's item and their setting was off, it would not allow me to pay through PayPal, and it'd give me a runaround, and I would get, of course, a little agitated, and I would maybe move on. Mm-hmm. But make sure your payment is set up and it's ready to rock and roll, because the last thing I'm going to do is sit around and try to figure out your listing to buy it from you. I'm just going to go to the next guy.
We had a sale yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
They came through.
They paid, right? That got me thinking, I know we had sales yesterday.
Yeah, I had to go actually change my settings back. Mm-hmm. But the second thing would be go out and buy. Just buy. You can never sell a product if you've never bought the product to sell. Go out and buy. Get used to the eBay app. That'd be my second thing. Download the eBay app onto your Android or your iPhone. Now, another person made me aware of something that I miscommunicated in my video. The Android does not show dates of the last sold. iPhone does. iPhone does show you the dates of the last one that sold. So if I'm seeing this battery on the shelf at Goodwill, the iPhone would show me if this battery sold 7 months ago or just yesterday. On the Android, I'm limited. I do not have that option, and I wish to God I did, because that is similar to camel. That is similar to your rankings on Amazon. That date tells you everything about if this product is hot or it's not. If you're going to buy this product, you're going to sit on it for 7 months, or if you're going to buy this product, then it's going to sell tomorrow. So that's
Could you, in that case, open up your actual web browser on your phone? Would it show that way?
No.
Okay.
No, mine.
It's just an Android thing. Okay.
Yeah. But so that'd be my second thing. Just go out there and with your eBay app and scan if it has a barcode on it, if it's in a box, scan it, check it out. If it doesn't have a barcode, type it in. I mean, you can pretty much see what it is. Pink terry cloth towel, and type it in and see what it's bringing. And you can judge. Oh, there went my camera. Dropping everything. But that'd be my main steps. And then once you sit down and you list, take quality pictures, set you up something somewhere against the wall with a white background and a white floor. Make sure your lighting's good and take pictures of it and list it. I mean, it's hard for me to say exactly what they would do after that point, because I don't know what they're selling. I mean, it's broad scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the main things. And I mean, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of it. eBay is so much easier and so much less complicated than FBA. I mean, it's fun. I have a blast, man. I have a blast doing this. The treasure hunt is everything, especially when you hear that cha-ching on your phone.
That's the best.
Oh, I need money.
You don't get that with Amazon.
I have a question also about how you optimize the keywords in your titles so that people can really find your listing up, above others. What I usually do is put the brand and,
Model
just
number.
Really good descriptors, but what have you found that works really well?
Okay, well, I will revert right back to the last one. Every listing I ever put on Amazon, on eBay, I piggyback. I piggyback off of one that has a proven track record of selling, especially recent. So I'm looking for 3 key indicators. I'm looking for sold the soonest, okay, or most recent, sold the highest with shipping, of course, because I charge shipping on almost all of my items, unless it's a really high dollar, then I'll just add free shipping. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking for I lost my train of thought. But anyway, I'm looking for 3 key elements, and one of them is that it's so recent, it's sold for a good amount, or pretty much the highest amount, and shipping was one, and they charge shipping. So those are the things I'm looking at. I'm piggyback off of their listing. I rarely ever change the keywords in the title. If the keywords were set up the way they were, I'm leaving them the same. Sometimes if they add free shipping to the end of that title and I'm not offering free shipping, I'll take that off, especially like the squeeze box I had. The person that I piggybacked off of, they had free shipping on their title. I just removed free shipping, but I had the remote. They didn't for the radio. So I added with remote. The rest of it, I left it alone because the keywords that they used, I don't know which one triggered Cassini to get that view. It actually worked. I left it alone and I didn't question it. So that's something I do. But like I was just saying on these teddy bears, I will add maybe some keywords onto my title. I'm going to put them on sale for one. I'm going to put them on sale and I'm going to add great Christmas gift to the end of my title. Like discontinue Walmart twerking bear, great Christmas gift. And then Christmas gift, I'm sure if somebody types in Christmas gift in that keyword, the keywords on eBay, it's gonna pull up my listing, but also Cassini looks a lot inside of your description for keywords. So a lot of people that start off with this fancy HTML description and everything, they're kind of messing up because spiders, just like you get on Google where spiders go out and crawl your website for content, Cassini kind of does the same thing with your description. It's looking for your description. It's looking for what condition it's in. It's looking for what you're selling. So it can better place your item with the correct buyer. So a lot of times I'll focus a little bit more on my description than I'll worry about my heading, because the heading's already there for me. But I keep my description short and sweet, because you guys will find out on eBay, a lot of people do not read your full description. So if your product has any type of wear or damage to it, make sure that's your first thing you put. Missing button 1. Then go into the rest of the stuff, because they'll read 3 sentences and then they'll go and buy it. Then when it gets to their home and they see it's missing button 1, they're really ticked off, even though you explained it. So
we had that happen with a printer. We sent a bunch of printers in over the summer, all of them without ink, just because I didn't want shipping to jostle them around.
Mm-hmm.
We put, of course, does not include ink in all of our descriptions. And sure enough, there was that one person who messaged me immediately when I got delivered and said, "Hey, this doesn't have ink with it." I said, "I know, it's in the description." Then they came back the next day and went, "Oh, sorry, I just now read that."
Mm-hmm. And they went back to look, man. That's one thing I can guarantee.
I love what you said there. Put the important stuff in that first line, because that's what most people are going to read, and then skim over the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Get it out there.
Yeah.
Get it out there. I see Tobet asked, how do I call eBay? Actually, on eBay.com, any of the pages, if you scroll to the bottom of the page, it says contact us. They will give you a PIN number that you will have to put in when you call eBay. And it only lasts, I think, for 15 minutes. But they're great guys. I mean, a lot of people I talk to are so afraid to talk to eBay. Oh, they're going to do this. No. eBay stood behind me so many times. It's not even funny. I mean, I've never had a problem with eBay, but I'm an honest seller, and I'm very, very descriptive with my items. So when I do contact eBay and they look over anything that the consumer is saying I did or did not do, it's very, very descriptive. So, I mean, they had my back numerous times.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I've only had to call eBay one time. Before I got into FBA, I dabbled into eBay for like my first 2 weeks, built up a little bit of cash to get into FBA. And on night 1, you start out with, 10 listings as a newbie?
It's been a while, but yeah, I believe other people reported that.
Exactly. So they give you 10 listings. I did the first 10 listings the first night, and I called him up the next morning, and then I said, "Hey, I'm going to be getting into this full time, but I'm already maxed out." And he's like, "Yeah, give me a minute." And he just went ahead and bumped it up to like 250.
Yep.
Just like that. So
exactly.
My experience with him was great.
And a lot of people, and that's something else for newbies, and I'm glad you brought that up, because at first PayPal is going to put you guys' account on hold. It's going to be on hold. So when you sell your item, it's just your money's going to have to sit and wait for a little bit. That's not a problem. All you basically do, what I done, I shipped the product out with a tracking number. As soon as I seen that my customer got the item in their hand, I actually contacted PayPal and told them, "Look, tracking shows that they got their item and everything. Can you guys release my funds?" And instantly they did. And I think it's supposed to be 30 days, but I think after 2 weeks, I actually contacted them and said, "Hey, I've been selling on here for 2 weeks. I've sold a few items. I've proven I'm not a scammer. Can you guys lift this hold on my account on PayPal?" And they did. They actually lifted my hold. So after that, I immediately got my money. And later on, they even sent me a PayPal debit card. So that's awesome to have. I get cash back on it, and I use that for all my purchases. That way I can keep track of my spending, and then eBay keeps track of my sales. So that's what I'm using right now. I know it's not fail safe or bulletproof, but it does show my spending, and it shows, eBay will show what I'm making, and PayPal will show what I'm spending off of my card, and I'm getting cash back too. So that's a good thing.
So somebody asked how to best way to access sold listings from your phone. I don't see it. There's a drop down when you search for something. It should say filter. And then if you go all the way down, it says sold items, and you'll just hit that tab. It should look, I don't know if people can see that.
That's too bright.
It's really bright. But anyway,
light.
It's there. So you just hit that filter. It's on the filter, and then reset it.
Yeah, because here's the thing is and just from the little bit of eBay I've done. There you go. A little bit of eBay I've done. I learned real quick because I remember there's a couple times before she got into it, and I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, look at this item. People have it listed for like $100." And you might have 1,000 listings at $100 each. but that doesn't mean anyone has actually sold one. So eBay doesn't have a ranking system like Amazon does. So in that case, you have to get really smart with your research, because you can't just look at an item on eBay and go, oh, it's ranked 5,000. Like, they don't have that. So in a sense, it's almost like a shot in the dark. So what you can do is filter down to just sold, and you'll see what people are actually paying for it. Yes. Sellers all have a price they want for it, but that doesn't mean customers are going to pay that much. So this is the customer's ballgame. You have to go by their pricing.
Yeah, and I mean, we reprice things in our Amazon store every week. Yeah. So I mean, you're going to have to expect that that's going to happen in your eBay store as well.
Correct. I mean, research is everything in this business. Mm-hmm. Everything. Research. I will literally sit at my desk at night and just pull up things that I may have seen in the Goodwill or Salvation Army that I did not necessarily pick up, but I will check it out. I will just go to eBay and I will sit here and just do research for hours on items I don't even have. I want to be a walking database. That's what I want to be. Mm-hmm. If I see like I used to sell guitars, I know what guitars now to pick up, and guitars I wouldn't touch with a 100-foot pole, but I learned that I met this guy at a gas station off of Craigslist. I bought an Ibanez bass guitar from him, mint condition. I put it on eBay, and that sucker went like that. After that, I was hooked on Ibanez. Nice. I didn't give anybody else, it was just Ibanez, because, those guitars are good. I limited myself. I could actually went for other guitars and did the same thing, and I might do that again. I mean, I have that process. I have that knowledge now. Nobody can take that from me.
Yeah.
Once you guys obtain this knowledge, nobody can take it from you.
Mm-hmm. That brings up a good thing. Is
the question with the
which one?
Hot list.
Oh, any hot list for stores to buy from after Christmas?
Yeah, and even kind of segueing into where you were talking about sourcing from, meeting people at gas stations, or how do you source? Are you diehard thrifter, or what do you do?
My main things that I love is thrift stores, Goodwills, Salvation Armies. Those are my main things that I love. Our local little Goodwill had some nice things. I mean, recently before the flood, I found this polyurethane case with a ton of different team chrome helmets, the little mini helmets. I picked it up. I actually negotiated with the manager at the front. I think I got it out the door for $12.99. I ended up selling it on eBay, and this was auction. Because I did my homework. I ended up getting, I think, $93 for it.
Nice. That's pretty good ROI.
That's 15. Okay, my wife said 15, but I ended up getting $93 for it.
Yeah,
so.
You still made a good profit. Nice. That's awesome.
Exactly. And yard sales. I love garage sales and yard sales. Mm-hmm. Me and my wife, though, we found ourselves kind of going towards Goodwills and stuff on the weekends when we should have been at yard sales. I don't know why we did that. I really don't have an answer, but if we didn't get into the yard sale type of mood, we'd end up at Salvation Armies and Goodwill. But I mean, I never came home before the flood. I never came home without some really home runs, some nice home runs. Now, home runs are a lot more common at yard sales and garage sales than you're going to find at the Goodwills. And Goodwills and Salvation Armies, a lot of you guys know they're going up on their prices. Like, hey, these guys are making a killing off of this stuff. We need to get in on that. Yep. But before the flood, I mean, it was still – I never came home without home runs. And I'm not concerned about doing this video with you guys and sharing this information, because if this is the way that you choose to go, me and you are we're more than likely never going to compete.
Right.
Because I may be selling a telescope or you found a phone, or I may have found a leg brace, which I did at one time. And man, that was something else too. $4.99 at a Goodwill. I turned around and sold for $78 on eBay.
Wow.
It was a leg brace that you can control the knobs on the side to give it more or less friction to, I guess, for athletes that are recovering or whatnot. But things like that, I don't have to worry about competition, right now and at this stage in my game, because a lot of you guys probably will never find the same thing that I find. Now, later on, I would like to go in other things, and scale my business up. I would like to not have to go out and source like I do now. Of course, that's the dream of everybody. And basing it on what I'm seeing with FBA right now at this present time, I think I'm gonna look more in the eBay with that as well instead of moving over to that platform. I'm just gonna see what I can do staying where I am. FBA is really making me worried because a friend of mine, he does exactly what you guys are doing, except he has a lot of chains of internet stores. So he gets 70% of his business from Amazon, and the other 30% comes from his own internet platforms. But he's finding it difficult right now too, you know. So, but I see the numbers on you guys' page, and I'm like, wow, what is up with, you know, my buddy, man? What is he doing wrong? But I don't get involved in his business. He don't ask me for help, so I don't offer it. I'm not that kind of guy. If you want my help, I'm more than happy to give anybody help. If you don't ask for it, then I'm going to go my own way, you know. Mm-hmm. I don't force my help on the people.
So do you and your wife do any retail sourcing at this point, or is it just strictly secondhand, or is that something you get into?
We absolutely do RA. And I've been finding recently, like a lot of the Walmarts around here, they're changing up the floor on their store. So there are a lot of items that they have, they're putting on discount right now, and it's the best time because they're putting out a lot of their Christmas stuff, and they don't have room for these toys or whatnot. So they're just liquidating them out the door. Mm-hmm. And I mean, actually, right now with eBay, I'm able to buy RA items and still flip them for a profit. Maybe not as big as what I can make with a yard sale item or a thrift store item, but it still is profit. I mean, if I can make $5 a piece off of 30 items, still money. You know, I mean, that's nice money.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I definitely do RA now. In fact, I'm going to say at least before the flood happened, I sold probably about 10 items that were RA, you know, at that point, because I just started getting into that little thing. But Walgreens, I'll give you a perfect example. I walked into Walgreens, they had a clearance section. They were changing the floor plan on their store, and it was a heated blanket. I picked it up for $12. It turned around and sold for $37 on eBay. I mean, at that point, guys, when I did that, I was like, okay, this is for me. Let's go. So, yes, every time I go to Walmart, I drag my wife into the clearance section or my kids. You know, they're like, come on, babe, I just want to grab some chips.
She knows how that goes.
Right? We're just here for like 2 things, and we spent 2 hours in Walmart.
Yeah. I think I saw that video you guys posted. That was funny.
There was one time back, this was like my first 2 weeks. She sent me up to the store to get milk for a little one. And I came back with like just grocery bags of random like stuff. Grill brushes, just random stuff. They were
Star Wars cups, like
Star Wars cups.
200 of them or something ridiculous like that. And he's like, I got a good deal.
It was a good deal. I bought them all.
I'm hoping by next year to have the funds to put aside to actually pick up, Halloween stuff, Christmas stuff, and have storage areas so I can store that stuff for the year until it comes back around.
Yeah, if you can get seasonal with stuff, man, you're set. We were at the eBay guy from the conference. Remember him?
Oh yeah.
He does costumes and clothing, and no, it was just costumes.
Steve, right?
I think his name was Steve.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what his name was.
Yes, it does.
It does, but I don't remember. So we went to this big Amazon conference, and one of the speakers there, they just had a little panel, and this guy was pretty much full-time eBay, and he did a lot of sales, millions per year, and he did just costumes.
Mm-hmm.
Costumes. Mm-hmm. And he literally, I don't know, of course he didn't give out sources or anything like that, but he's getting them by the truckload, wholesale, pallets, whatever he's doing. But he specifically waits for these certain seasons to kick in. And dude makes a killing just in those few short months a year.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, there's a gentleman by the name of King Human on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I've been watching Dave forever. And Dave actually turned me and my wife on the blinky stuff, like, the little blinky earrings and blinky rings. Yeah, we used to we had a booth at the flea market where we'd actually sell these blinky light up bubble guns and everything. But Dave actually posts on some of his way back videos. He actually posted different Halloween costume places where you get Halloween costumes and stuff to sell. He made a killing. I mean, this guy, he made a big killing on it. So that's all he did at one point. So yeah, that's something I was definitely thinking about, but you have to have capital.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to plan ahead for that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the capital I have right now allows me thrift stores, yard sales, and a little bit of RA here and there, until I build my capital back up and mainly my inventory back up. I mean, this is what I have to work with. So these are the tools I have. I'll make it work with these tools.
Sure.
Looks like Juan. What's up, Juan? What about, oh wait, that just bumped down. Any tips on how to organize products being sold on eBay that are physically having to sit in your home or storage unit? Do you have like a specific organization strategy? Do you have shelving units? I can imagine. Obviously, with the flood, that would have messed with your stuff a little bit.
That is my main concern right now. I mean, the limited space that I have in a small apartment, it's going to limit me to how much stuff I can get. At my other home, we dedicated our whole living room. We took the TV out, the couch out. We had my wife's desk and my desk sandwiched together. I had 2 6-foot tables stacked behind me where I just stored all my inventory on both shelves. Under my table, I had stuff under my bed. I mean, I just put stuff everywhere. In fact, sometimes it got to the point it would take me 30, 45 minutes to go search through everywhere to find this item that just sold. Yeah. So no, I am so unorganized. It's not even funny. I'm the worst person to ask, that type of thing. Some people out there in the community, they actually do take their item, they'll take pictures of it and everything, and they'll actually package it up for shipping, write a number on it, and keep up with the number for that product, which is something I'm thinking about doing. But my whole concern with that is wasting shipping supplies, because some of the things that I do buy, I won't lie to you guys, I take a risk on. If the profit margin is there, I'm going to take a risk on it. If I go home and I put all this bubble wrap or shipping paper in there and tape it all up in my box and everything, it doesn't sell, then that could be time I wasted or a box I wasted or whatnot. So,
sure,
I might come up with something else, but that is a good technique or a good thing to have. At least you can just go grab it off the shelf, slap a label on it, bring it down to your, to your local post office and drop it off, or your local FedEx drop-off place. So
we have a storage unit, and I mostly just I have big shelves, and then totes, and I just kind of filter through the totes. Like the stuff on the far right is all stuff that I bought, at the beginning, and then I just kind of work my way through and kind of reorganize. I mean, I'm sure there's a bazillion ways you could go about organizing. You kind of just figure out what works for you. Who else has questions?
From one?
Right here.
The number one.
What about promoting your store, paid advertising on eBay, anything on Twitter, Instagram to promote your store? Do you pay for advertising?
I've never used it. I've never had any reason to use anything like that. I mean, my sales were consistent. I was making money. There was no need for that. Now, if I got into private label type items or things that, that I want to sell a bulk quantity of, that might be something that I'll look into the future, but I'm not up to that point right now. That's kind of a little bit more of an advanced question there,
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it would be something that would be targeted toward a PL product something that you buy wholesale that you have a huge quantity of. You're not going to pay advertising for one product that is probably going to get
exactly
sold, regardless of whether you have advertising or not.
And I would never shy people away from doing PL on eBay. There's a huge market for it. It's in fact, it's probably a less saturated market than what Amazon is. You will still have people that are going to try to take your idea and run with it. But at least it would make money. I mean, it would make you money until somebody jumped on and rode your coattail.
Sure.
So, yeah, I mean, we have one product we're looking to peel, and Yeah, same scenario where there's a few of them on Amazon that will be competitors. Nothing like is on eBay. So the second we get our hands on that PL product, we'll have 1,000 units to start with. We're going to have to offload. So Amazon's not going to be the only way. So that's a prime example right there. eBay is still a pretty big market.
There you go. I mean, and your competition is low. In fact, now that people are coming back to the eBay platform once again, your demand's going to be higher. You're going to have that better demand for it. So, I mean, this right here, what Amazon is doing is I mean, it gets me excited. It really gets me very excited. I know a lot of people out there are probably like, why would you be excited? You're going to have more competition. No, I'm excited because there's going to be more buyers. Every way the boat shifts, the water's going to follow it. The boat shifts this way, the water's going to follow it, So, I mean, yes, there will be more competition. Not for me right now because I'm doing things that, are out there. But there will be more competition, but at the same time, there's more sales. So there's always one thing's weighing the other. More competition, okay, great. But then the sales, more sales. So, it's always a pendulum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know how that with Amazon. I know that there's rules and regulations to hijacking and that sort of thing, and that's probably not something that's super regulated on eBay. So it'd be, that's
Wild
something
West.
It is the Wild West. So it's something that you have to assess the risk and decide if you want to put the money into it. But that's just with PL. I mean, that's just a PL product or even wholesale. Yeah, you're right. I was actually online looking for fall boots, and there were probably 2 pages of PL or wholesale before I even got to just regular auction listings or that kind of thing. It was kind of surprising. So yeah.
I mean, it's exciting.
Trudy asked, with Amazon, I like to keep track of my percentage of inventory that sells every day. Do you keep track of that? And if so, what's your number?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat? I was reading somebody else's.
With Amazon, I like to keep track of the percentage of inventory that sells every day. Do you keep track of that? And if so, what's your number?
Yes. I mean, every time you make a sale, it's going to show at the bottom your sold items. It's going to show you how many sold items you had. Back before the flood, I had about 263 items, and I was just starting to see between 8 and 10 sales a day. My average sales price on my items were around $40 a pop. So
nice.
And that was, I just started, guys. I just started June 22nd. So I had July, and I'll tell you my numbers. In July, I made $3,800 gross profit, and out of that, I think I walked away with around $2,800 in net profit after fees, shipping, supplies, and everything. I know it's not huge numbers like everybody is reporting, but with 260,
that covers a job.
Yeah,
exactly. That covers that. That covers more than covers what I was making at O'Reilly's part-time as an assistant manager, So, but it was just a start. That was my start. And it's only me. I'm getting my little pickup truck and I'm going out and hitting all these places. So I'm doing what I can. It's a lot of work, man. You come home, you got to peel all these stickers. You got to get all this ink off of these things and make sure they work and then list them. So, I was happy with my numbers. I really was. And I seen an upward spike. And then August, when the flood hit, it just went. So, but it's coming back. Like I said, I opened my store back up, and within 2 hours of me opening my store back up, I sold a Lego set, shipped it out day before yesterday. So, it's coming back.
Awesome.
Someone else, Chaz, asked me a question in the Facebook group. They asked me, when did I start seeing momentum on my sales? When did I start seeing a good momentum?
A pivot point.
Exactly. When you can start seeing things. Actually, by about 50 items, 60 items, that's when I started seeing sales coming in. It started off, 1 or 2, then it went up to 2 or 3, and then by the end of it, it was around – that last shipment I made when my house flooded, I shipped out 12 items. I had 12 items that ended that day that were sold that I had to ship out. And, it took me a little while to ship them out because everything was closed down. But, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 8, 9, 10, 12, you know. So, I mean, as I added items, and that's something else I want to touch with the community as well, and you guys. Cassini is actually looking for any type of action or any type of action on your account. Okay, so if you're running, and that's why I do admit I would run an auction, a sale, a listing, anything that you're doing on your account is going to get Cassini's attention. It's going to bring attention to your store, your username and everything. So I noticed when I would kind of space out my listings a little bit, and I started listing, let's say instead of just going all night and listing 30 items, I would list 6 and then the next day 7 and so forth. My sales also went up because Cassini was seeing it action. Another thing was auctions. You know, when I do auctions, sometimes I would expect to lose a little bit of money on my auction, but I wasn't worried about the money. I was worried about I was more worried about the views, you know, or Cassini seeing that auction on my store to give me that little bit of bump in my search rankings. So that's definitely something, you know, you need to take into account. As your sales start snowballing, your listing starts snowballing, and you have a few little auctions placed in your listings, you will see a dramatic increase in sales because Cassini will see that action on your account. And it's proven. I mean, so many of myself and others in another eBay group that I follow, we've done the research, we've done these little tests and things, and every time it's resulted in our sales going up. So if you guys are like throwing everything on there in one night, kind of pace it out a little bit, you know, and as Cassini sees this action daily, you should see an increase in sales. Also throw a few auctions out there. I don't care if it's a ballpoint pen. Throw an auction out there for a ballpoint pen. Even if it doesn't sell or you don't get any bids on it, Cassini sees this auction and it takes that into account.
Awesome.
Favorite truck just rolled up.
Yeah, our brown truck just rolled up.
Every day. Where was I going with that? It reminds me of in the health and fitness industry, I use a quote that is laziness fuels more laziness and activity fuels more activity. That's kind of the same thing.
Holds true.
Where your effort goes, where
your focus goes, the power flows.
There you go.
That's my other one.
That.
Yeah, no, it's all about activity. Like in Amazon world, if you want to get more sales, you have to keep shipping in more stuff, right? Keep getting those boxes into those warehouses. In eBay world, it's the same thing, except for you don't have to ship them out until they're sold. So what you do is create more listings. You have to keep that flow, right? You have to have a level of inventory that's going to be a little bit up there. That way you can actually make the sales, right? If you only list 10 things, sit around, twiddle your thumbs, go, well, I'm not making any money. Like you're not going to build business that way.
Right.
Yeah, it's a trick too, though, guys. I mean, it's a trick because on one hand, all these items are going to bring you more sales. But on the other hand, if you list all these items at one time, you're kind of shooting yourself in your foot with Cassini. So you have to space it out. You know, if you want to shoot for 60 items, great. Go out and source 60 items. But take and put maybe 10 items a day or however much you buy. I mean, if you're buying 120 items, then of course, you know, you can go up to 20, 30 items a day or whatnot. You know, you don't want to sit here and have this same stuff 2 weeks from now sitting in your home, but space it out. You know, don't try to get too much inventory on there one time. That's what I done when I first sat there. I came home with my wife's Kia was just stock full, and I put all the stuff on eBay and I'm like, oh, come on, money. And it just come. But then when I spaced it out, man, I started seeing sales rolling in. I'm like, what's going on? I talked to the group and they were like, yes, we did a little study on it. And when you space your items out and you continuously list every day, maybe even 2 items, you list every day, you will start seeing an increase because Cassini sees that action daily on your account, whether it be sales, whether it be listings, or whether it be auctions, whatever the case may be. Cassini sees that action and takes that into ability in their overall configuration, whatever all Cassini looks at, you know. So all these things are tied into Cassini, which is, that's something, I mean, nobody will ever completely figure out, but with tests and, you know, and doing little tests and things like that, we've kind of figured out a few of the little key hit points on it.
Yeah, that's like the buy box. Everyone wants to know how to get the buy box. We're like,
That's the
we don't
secret.
know, and nobody else does either. So
We had $10 million sellers at that conference. They're like, oh no.
Yeah.
there's no rhyme or reason for it. It just happened. So it's really good to hear just being consistent, even on a micro level every day, even just a few items, just can really help your sales quite a bit. So that's really awesome.
Action. Every day you have to have action. Even if you're not selling any items, you still have that auction or you still have listing every day. There is action on your account. It's not sitting dormant. It's not being, it's not a stale account.
Yeah.
Perfect.
They take that into accountability. Into account.
And real quick, for those that do not know what Cassini is.
Cassini is basically the searching algorithm where it takes your item and places it with a buyer searching for your item. Okay. Now the way for you to get your item in front of the customer looking for your item is to figure out all the key points of Cassini. Think of Cassini as like Google. Google uses spiders to go to all these different websites and crawl these websites for keywords, content, all these different algorithms that Google decided would best rank your website for the search bar. So if you're hitting all these keywords and everything in your website, of course you're going to be the very first search result in Google searches. Cassini's the same way, except it's instead of a website, it's a product. So basically that's why you have to, try to figure out Cassini, and the tips that I'm giving you guys today are proven. They're proven. So, as long as you use the little tips that I'm giving you, Cassini shouldn't be a problem. If you guys want to go ahead and try to figure out some guy in a closet in his mom's basement, what he did here, go for it. But these are the things that I know, and these are the things that I've had work. And like I said, I've gotten more money from my products numerous times than what the lowest ones sell for. Even items that were listed lower than mine, my item sold versus their item. I'm not bragging, I'm not boasting, I'm not saying I'm God, but I'm telling you it does work. It works. I'm not trying to be big-headed, but it works.
No, it's awesome. Anything else? Let's see.
Shipping.
Somebody wants to know how to figure out shipping on each item. You could take that.
Okay. Basically what I do on shipping, every item that I buy, I have a nice profit margin on it. Okay. So basically what I do, the person that I'm piggybacking off of their listing, I will check to see what shipping they're sold for, because of course I'm going for the highest price one that's sold. And also I check out their shipping. I will probably take their shipping. Let's say they charge $18 for their shipping. I'll probably take their shipping, and depending on how much profit I'm looking at gaining off of this item, I might drop it down about $3. So there were 18. I want to go at 15. But the best way you could do it is figure out how much your item weighs, how big of a box you would have to use, and then go off. Like for me, I go off a 90210. So I'm all the way in Louisiana. So 90210 would be about the same distance from me to Cali or me to New York City, which would be the greatest distance. And I base my shipping off of that. That way, if it does ship closer, hey, I just made a little extra profit off of my shipping. If it goes up further, I don't know how much further it could go, but I might have to spend another $1 or $2. But that's worst case scenario. And as far as global shipping on eBay,
yeah,
that's awesome. I love global shipping.
And for those that don't know how global works, explain that process to them.
Well, global shipping, basically, if somebody from Australia or Canada or someone international purchases your product, instead of having to ship it to the person in the other country, you just ship it to Kentucky, to eBay's main warehouse, and they do all the shipping labels and everything at the warehouse, and then they ship it off across seas. Now, once your package reaches eBay, you no longer have to worry about it. If the customer says they didn't receive your item, eBay deals with it. If the customer says the item arrived damaged, eBay deals with it. Once your item reaches global shipping, it's out of your hands. You have no more worries.
So a lot of ways it's like FBA in that regard. You send it to the warehouse and then you don't think about it.
Exactly. Same exact scenario, except they only do that. And another person was talking about eBay Valet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've never messed with eBay Valet, but as far as what my constituents are telling me, is that eBay Valet, you just ship them your products, they take pictures of it, they list it and everything, and 9 times out of 10 your product's going to get damaged. They're going to return it to you damaged and say, hey, it arrived damaged. Even if it does make it on a platform, they don't really worry about making sure that everything is set up to give you the best results. Let's put it that way. The pictures are horrible. They don't worry about keywords. They don't worry about making sure that people can see your item. So eBay Valet at this time, I know from sources that they're working on it. They're trying to get it up to maybe FBA level. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But right now, guys, do it yourself. If you're gonna be on eBay's platform, do it to where you can run your own business and you have room to put all your stuff and you have time to make sure that all the things are listed. There's no, there's no reason to go out and source all these items if you're never going to put them out for people to buy them from you.
Mm-hmm.
So true.
But
somebody had a question about background. Does it need to be white? And I think just speaking to that, I mean, you're the face of your business, right? So you want to look as professional as possible. When you ship something, you don't want to send it in a dirty box or something that is going to reflect badly on you or your account. So somebody's not going to look at you as highly if you take a picture of something on your bed or on your carpet.
Which they're out there.
And they're out there and they're all gross.
Yes.
If you put in the effort, that's the effort you're going, or that's the return you're going to get.
You want to tell them how you did your little white background setup?
Yeah, I want to hear how Michael does his background first.
Well, at this point, I just actually went and bought 2 poster boards. I have a tri-fold poster board, and I have another poster board that I'm going to lay down, and I'm going to put the tri on top. I have a few lights that I picked up, and I'm hoping it's going to be adequate. I'm hoping that I could set it up and it's going to be adequate. Before, I had my daughter's changing table, and I draped paper down the wall. I actually pinned it up on the wall, and then I put my wife's decorative lamps on both sides. One sat up high and the other one was low, and it was perfect. I mean, it actually made the pictures look a little bit better because the light was low. So when I had a shiny surface item with the low light, it didn't show as many scratches, so it kind of helped my item out a little bit.
Sure.
I was of course honest in my description. Item does have scratches. It does show use. But when they look at the picture, like, oh wow, man, that thing is nice, because the reflection doesn't show all the scratches. But that's how my new little thing is going to be. Like I said, guys, I'm having to start all over again from this home as far as storing my items. I'm not 100% on where I'm going to set up my photos, to take photos of my stuff. So, I mean, these are things that I'm working on and I'm trying to come back. But
so something I do also, if you don't have a dedicated space, is I use the kind of thick foam poster board from the Dollar Tree.
That's what I got.
I tape the seams on the back so that you can't see the seams when you're taking pictures, and then I just actually move it around, and it's worth that half hour or hour or whatever it takes to find your lighting, trial and error, and get it right, so that thus moving forward, all your pictures look as professional as you can make them look.
Daylight. Bring them outside.
Yeah.
Daylight's going to be your number one. For us, we have our whole garage is kind of our warehouse setup, right? Horrible lighting out there. So I bought these for videos.
Yeah.
And then she pulled one aside one day and went, holy crap, like it made
it's like a studio.
Picture.
It's probably like a
So I'll show you guys real quick.
Lighting.
The softbox?
Yeah, it's a softbox.
So search softbox. That's what we're using right now.
I want one of those so bad. I want a couple of those.
They're beautiful. So search softbox. Or, which way? There we go.
There you go.
Or studio lighting. So it was 2 for $99, and that was on Amazon. eBay, you can find them too. Somebody dropped below. I bought a brick background, which is kind of like a big poster. A brick. That's a fun one. Brick background from a local photographer, and have a setup I bought for $25 on eBay. I started with a white sheet nailed to the wall. I use a Target lamp right now. Lighting is the next purchase.
The lighting really does make the difference.
It makes a big difference if you can get a light. You don't have to get the fancy ones. There were cheap ones for like $60. I just went a little bit higher quality for the videos. But yeah, you don't need to go big and fancy. You just start and take the capital that you get through your business and treat it like a business, right? You need business expenses and upgrades. Use that business money to make those upgrades, right? Don't pull money from your rent and utility bills. You got to be smart with it.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's and those are all write-offs, people.
Yeah, save the receipts.
This is a business, so any
higher
expenses.
That's exactly what I use my PayPal card. Everything, business expenses, purchasing more items, whatever.
Absolutely.
It comes and I get cash back.
Yep.
Get money for spending money. I love it.
So I have a question with how you have, the cost of goods or product or whatever, and then what you sell them for. What does your bookkeeping look like? Do you use Excel? Are you?
I plan on moving into GoDaddy. Of course, being such a new venture, I hadn't got into all the bookkeeping stuff. I was just kind of winging it. But being that I used, and this is the way I was doing. I know it's kind of ghetto or whatnot, but I was using my PayPal card, and that's how I was tracking my spending.
Sure.
I only use my PayPal card for business purchases. Okay, our bank account is for our personal needs. But basically, PayPal would keep up with my expenditures, my gas, because I'd use my PayPal card to also put gas in my car when I'd go sourcing. And then eBay, basically every time you sell an item, it shows you your sale price and how much you paid for shipping. You can tag on a couple of dollars on your cost for your shipping goods, a box. Your craft paper that you get from Lowe's, like Chaz did a video on. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, construction paper, big old fat roll.
Yeah. So anyway, you can tag on a little bit extra cost for that. So that's basically how I've been doing it. I mean, I know I need to get a lot better with that, but I think my business is so small right now that I don't have to worry about those things. Once I do have to worry about those things, I plan on also becoming LLC again with this company. So I'm still on the runway, but I'm taking off.
You're doing awesome. We're so happy that you're able to get back on your feet. So it's exciting.
Yeah, it's been a little trial, a little mental, physical, and everything. But I'm not giving up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I want to wrap this up. We're at the hour mark. Do you have any final eBay thoughts, questions?
No, we're going to kind of check this news feed. So if people come back and watch the recording, we can definitely answer some questions. And Michael is an awesome resource and has been so helpful in a lot of chats and just in the group. So definitely reach out to him.
You guys need anything?
Just encourage him.
You guys need anything? Just hit me up on Chaz's page or on my Facebook. The name of my YouTube site is Kinetic Energy. That's a whole different chapter. But hit me up on watch my videos on Kinetic Energy. I'm going to continue to do from front to back of eBay. Shipping the way I ship. How everything goes. I know a lot of people, like we had talked about in the beginning of the show, what if my product sells, then what, so I want to relieve that fear for them as well. So
perfect.
Outstanding. Well, Michael, thank you. I appreciate you taking time out of your afternoon to hop on here with us. I'm going to link up, if you guys are watching the recording on YouTube, check out the comment section below and the description, and I'll be sure to link up to his YouTube channel, his information. If you're not in our Rockstars group that we're referring to, go ahead and check below, little plug, and we'll get you plugged into our Rockstars group. We're at 18,000 members and growing every single day. It's a great place for newbies to come, but keep in mind, if you are on YouTube watching these, because I get a lot of messages and comments from newbies right now, hey Chaz, I want to get into this, but I can't FBA for some reason. You have to wait until December 19th to send in your first FBA shipment, but there's ways around it. You can go eBay, you can do fulfillment merchant, is what we call merchant fulfillment on Amazon. There's so many different routes you guys can go. So get plugged in to the community. That's why I made it, to have the support and accountability for each other. And aside from that,
that's it. Yeah. Thanks so much, Michael.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Guys, have a great night.